Let's start out this battle report by looking at the antagonists. The British player, which was me, shows the HMS Cornwallis, and the Cornwallis is using the rules that we made for the 4th-rate frigate. It has 42 ship points and an additional heavy cannon compared to the 5th-rate frigates. It also shows veteran and more coronets, and a sturdy hull. The Medea was a 5th-rate frigate in the Spanish fleet, and this player was Marcus, my friend, and he shows more coronets for it. Another Spanish ship is La Princesa. She's a 6th-rate frigate, but also from the famous ship second, giving her some special rules and also making it a veteran. He also shows the captain Federico Carlos Gravina, I think, giving it a +1 to the dice roll of every skill test as long as the ship is within 16 inches of the ship carrying him. And this ended the British with 395 points, all in one ship, a large 4th-rate frigate, and the Spanish with 2 ships, 200 points each. One veteran with a captain and another one more standard but with more coronets. After rolling for the wind, both sides ended up setting up as you can see on the map. Spanish in line and the British alone, and the Spanish having the weather gauge, but both sides beam reaching. Here we have the ships in this battle. The HMS Cornwallis is painted by me, it's my favorite ship so far. And the Medea was painted by Marcus, who's my friend, and La Princesa by my brother Hannes. And this is the end of turn 1. Both fleets closing at battle sail, and the British taking the wind gauge. For the second turn, the British is setting full sail, which means that there is an early close range broadside straight onto the bow of the Medea. It is not a rake, but it's a very close action. This is the new gunsmoke effect. They look really nice in reality, but also in photos, I think. They're kind of glimmering in reality. And the effect of this broadside was devastating for the Medea. 34 points of damage, leaving just 2 points. And her failing the test and striking her colors. So a devastating second turn initially for the Spanish player. We usually replace models that are struck or wrecked with models that we made for the purpose. That just brings more immersion for us. La Princesa manages to avoid a collision with Medea and then returns a broadside onto the Cornwallis. This is just out of the 3-inch close range. The hit scoring 9 points of damage, leaving the Cornwallis with 53 points. La Princesa then continues her move and then pulls out the head of the Cornwallis, heading in a general westerly direction. And here we have the positions at the end of turn 2. The Medea struck and HMS Cornwallis in pursuit of La Princesa, heading west-northwest. And we usually keep the struck models in play until the wind roll removes them. And then we move them like a D3 in the direction of the wind. First turn, actually we move them in the direction they were traveling. Unless they're wrecked. For turn 3, the Cornwallis have the weather gauge. All she can set is battle sail, as she is running before the wind here. So is the La Princesa, but that means that the Cornwallis can get in close, and then the La Princesa responds with a fire as you bear broadside. I really like how our sea table looks, and also with our new gunsmoke effects. Really brings the immersion. Hope you guys agree. And here is the results of this double broadside. HMS Cornwallis hits La Princesa for a whopping 27 points of damage, leaving just 7 points. However, she does not strike and can respond. And then she actually hits the Cornwallis for 11 points of damage, which is also a respectable broadside, leaving Cornwallis with 42 ship points. La Princesa then pulls ahead, and here we have the map at the end of turn 3. The struck Medea has drifted a little bit in the direction it was traveling, and then turning with the wind, and Cornwallis pursuing La Princesa towards the west. So for turn 4, the wind actually veered, now blowing from the northeast towards the southwest. And this means that the La Princesa now has the weather gauge moving first. And she can keep ahead of the Cornwallis and out of her close range broadside. Only chance for the Cornwallis, if the wind keeps like this, would be to fire at long range. We unfortunately forgot to take pictures of turn 4, so there's no pictures of that, but you can see it on the map. Luckily for the Spanish player, the wind turned again in the 5th turn, now blowing from the east to the west like it did in the beginning of the battle. This meant that the Cornwallis once again had a weather gauge and could close with the La Princesa and give her a close range broadside. Some more of this brilliant gunsmoke effects. Really happy with this. So the effect of this final broadside is 16 points of damage and a quarter deck hit on the critical team. And that means La Princesa is at this point wrecked, and it's a victory for the British. I should mention that we played this game without the +1 to gunnery for the British. We've actually removed that rule in our house rules. So we felt it, even if it's kind of an attempt of a historical accuracy, it felt like it's skewed the battle too much in the British favor. So this is played without that rule, but with the admiralty and attacking proficiency. Even though this was a very quick and devastating loss for the Spanish player, it really just came down mostly to luck, probably except for maybe getting the wind gauge there on the 2nd turn. We had a great time. This was our 2nd battle of the day, and I will make a battle report of the first one soon. This is the wreck of La Princesa with on fire there beside HMS Cornwallis. Again, for us, we play for immersion, so we try to get our models as good as possible, and also the wrecked and the struck ships and so on. Let me know what you think about this setup for a battle report with the scorecard and the maps and so on. Is it necessary or too much? I really enjoy making these. They take quite a while to do, so don't expect me to post too often. I will get back to making a video about more in detail what I do when I make my ships and what paints I use and brushes and all so on. If you have any questions, just post it in the comments below and give the channel a follow.